going to join the team along with Richard Antonucci, bringing some championship caliber from OGara Motorsport and the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Championship. They'll join previously announced and reigning GTD champions Townsend Bell and Bill Sweedler. We're switching over to OGara this year with the new Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Making it all possible is Tom OGara, who's with us in the center. And Tom, talk about how you feel. You're here at the World Center of Racing, taking a big step with your program. What are the emotions like right now?
Well, it's an enormous step for us in our program. We've never been in GT3, having run the Super Trofeo, but Lamborghini itself has never been in North America either, and so it's a great partnership that we have between our Beverly Hills and La Jolla stores. We're the largest Lamborghini dealer in the country, and working with Lamborghini, and this has been an exciting experience for all of us over the last 3 years. So, you know, we're thrilled to have Townsend and Bill with us, the expertise and all of the time that they've spent in the car, and then at the same time, Ido and Richie bring a world of experience in the development of the Super Trofeo car and the GT3. So we're excited about it.
Tom, you had a great season in Super Trofeo, won numerous championships, including the dealership title. Richard won a championship, and you're also the team champions in Super Trofeo. When did it start crystallizing? We're saying, you know what, we have the group of people it takes to step up to GTD next year.
Well, I think from the very beginning, Lamborghini's a small organization. They've been very transparent about where they wanted to get to. So aspirationally, this is where we wanted to be, and we've been talking about it since the very beginning. So we're thrilled to be here. It's kind of a dream come true for all of us.
Thank you very much, Tom. Townsend, you and Bell put together a good partnership that's been very successful. You won the Rolex 24 at Daytona and GTD 2 years ago, won the championship last year in GTD, and even went to Le Mans and got on the podium in your first time. When did you start looking at OGara and the Lamborghini program in particular, and what was a pretty big switch from what you were used to?
Well, I met Tom a few years ago, and it was readily apparent that he was totally focused on building a best-of-breed race team in North America. And as soon as I saw the building blocks and the people that he was bringing into the organization, some of which I knew very well and held in very high regard going many years back, that's a signal for any racing driver that, hey, that's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I'm either going to race against them, or maybe I could race for them. And so it just all kind of worked out. And it's pretty cool when we're all, a lot of us have been in this business a long time, and when you see somebody new come into the sport like Tom and his organization, not only is it good for the drivers and the people that are working for Tom, but it's good for the sport. It just elevates everything in our category. If you look at GTD right now, there's a lot of strength across the board, some great manufacturers, and the support, the commitment, and the elevation of our class is pretty amazing year over year. So as the competition increases, so does the anxiety, or the desire, I should say, for a sharper sword, and I feel like we've got that with OGara.
Very good. Your partner, and this has been Bill, as we talked about. Bill, what do you get out of, you've got a very talented yet cerebral co-driver with Townsend. What's the best advice he gives you outside of the car as well as when you're behind the wheel?
Well, before I even get to Townsend, one thing I would say is, just going on the theme that we were talking about before, Tom runs his business like a champion. It is a championship business. He's a leader in his field. And when I saw that, and Townsend then kind of communicated what Tom was doing with his team, every position, every key person, the drivers, the investment in what he was doing, we recognized very quickly, and as everyone in this room knows, when you have top talent with an average team, that's not championship caliber. But if you take top talent behind the wheel and top talent in the team, that's how you make championship teams. So that was a critical ingredient and component before making the switch to OGara, and we're thrilled to do it. In terms of Townsend is been a great teammate and someone who's been become a good friend. We've been racing together since our first race. Our maiden voyage was Sebring 12-hour in 2012, and that race we won. and we've kind of never looked back. So it's exciting to come in here as the GTD champions. It's clearly a stout class. I'm thrilled to have both Eduardo and Richie on our team for the 24-hour race, and we look forward to posting hopefully a good result here.
No, welcome back. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much, Italy as well as Europe in general. But talk about Daytona International Speedway. You took your first look at the place when?
Yeah, I mean, just yesterday, just arrived yesterday. This is my first time in Daytona. I started racing in the US 10 years ago. Then I was chosen by Red Bull, so I had to go back to Europe. And I'm really happy to be back here. I really enjoy living in the US, and I look forward to jumping in the car tomorrow.
What was your first impression when you saw the World Center of Racing? You've never been here before, but obviously...
It's like a dream coming true, really. Yeah.
Very good. Now talk about Lamborghini. You ran in Super Trofeo, but just about everybody who did those great cars says this car, the Huracan GT3, is a decidedly different car. What's the difference?
Oh, it's a total different beast. I mean, the Huracan GT3 has way more downforce. You can brake way later. I mean, everything is more extreme, and it's a world-class car. And I think we are really happy to represent. Personally, I'm really happy to represent Lamborghini and OGara.
Very good. Well, thank you. Great to have you here, Richie. You're gonna kind of run under the colors of Italy, even though you're American. You have some Italian heritage as well. Talk about the pride you feel joining this team and bringing your own championship expertise back to the OGara team.
Yep, I'm obviously very happy and proud to continue with OGara my second year. Obviously, this is GTD or GT3 racing, so a completely different level, much higher than Super Trofeo was. Nonetheless, we continue our progress and our momentum that we started last year. And I'm very excited to have the backing and the support of Lamborghini and the trust and the support of OGara Motorsports.
Now, you've done endurance racing before. You ran the Salem 6-hour a couple of years ago. That seems like a sprint compared to this one. If you head in your first 24-hour race, what can you anticipate?
Probably going to drive 4 times more than that, which was already a lot. So got to stay focused and absorb as much as possible from our GTD champions, Bell and Sweedler. They have a lot of insight and resources to give to us. We need to learn as much as possible and take advantage of their experience, I'd say.
That's a good team. Now let's queue up for questions, please. If we've got any questions for any one of our 5 panelists up here. Any questions, raise your hand, please. Tony DeZino, please. Thanks, Tony.
Tony DeZino, Sports Car 365.
You got a mic there, Tony. Thank you.
Tony DeZino, Sports Car 365. For Tom, to the outside, it might look like a surprise that there's 5 of the new Huracan GT3s in GTD this year, but you've obviously worked with Lamborghini for a few years. What can you say about what they're bringing to the equation as they prepare for their first 24-hour race here in North America?
Yeah, for Lamborghini, they had their first season last year over in Europe, which was their maiden voyage. North America is the biggest market for them, and as a consequence, having a full complement of vehicles here was fundamentally important because the racing end of it needs to drive the sales end of it, and so as a consequence, that's the reason for the number of vehicles here, and at the same time, the enthusiasm for the car. I mean, they never anticipated selling as many of the GT3 cars that they have. I mean, they're way beyond what their expectations were. So in Asia this year, North America, in Europe, it's going to be quite interesting.
Any additional questions? We got a session coming up and another one, but we can squeeze in 1 or 2 more. Greg Kramer, please. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, a question for Richard primarily here. Obviously, you did a lot of testing and development on the Super Trofeo car. It's the same car, but a vastly different platform with GT3. What can you take from all the work you did with the Super Trofeo car, and where does this GT3 platform really excel, if you will?
Well, like you said, and Eduardo was saying before, the cars are vastly different. They're both Huracan Lamborghinis, but one has vastly more power, and that's actually the Super Trofeo. And one has Pirelli tires, which is a completely different feel to the Continentals, especially the endurance Continentals we're driving here. So feeling-wise, very different. Obviously, there's a lot more downforce in the GT3, and I'd like to have more time in the GT3 actually to be able to give you more information. But baseline-wise, one's a lot faster in the corners. The Super Trofeo would be faster in the straights.
Thank you very much. Anybody else want to add on that as we queue up for a final question? Any other? Maybe Guido, you got any? Talk a little bit about it.
Sure. Well, when we started development in Italy, the GT3 car was already, I mean, it was a very incredible car. Dallara helped the development also. So you can feel, it feels like driving an open wheel car, really. That's what, from a driver point of view, it reminds me of those good years in a Formula 3.
Got time for one more if we have one? All right, well, we got work to do. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Good luck with your testing and development, and appreciate